are trying to expand into China. To give you a little brief overview, Asprey is a luxury jewelry company that was started in Great Britain in 1781. And since its inception, it's been a jeweler that has done the crown jewels for Queen Elizabeth's coronation. It's recognized as the premier jeweler and luxury goods provider in Great Britain, and it has since expanded into the United States and other locations around the world. It's a company that has been based on British traditional values for almost 2 centuries at this point. And after sort of a rough decade, Asprey actually merged with another company in 2000, and it was an unsuccessful merger. So Asprey divulged itself with the partnership, and now, almost 10 years later, has the assets to expand even further. Unfortunately, this slide didn't work out quite as well, but this is actually a list of all of the locations Asprey has, both locally and abroad. There are the 2 stores in London, the 3 stores in the United States, with the flagship store being in Beverly Hills. And I don't know if you can see it quite as well, but we actually have 6 stores in Japan already. The Asian market has really latched onto this brand and are really, really excited about it. So expanding into China is the next logical step. This is a complete list of all of the products we offer in every single one of our stores. And the thing about Asprey is it is very traditional. Not a lot of adaptation is required for each of the markets they enter. You can get the same product in every single one of the stores around the world. And one interesting thing to note, obviously there's the jewelry and the leather goods and whatever, but one thing about Asprey that's very specific is their bespoke services, which means that luxury, elite customers can come in and order something very specific. One of the examples, a foreign dignitary came into an Asprey store and wanted a gold-plated picnic set. Asprey was able to make it for them and charge exorbitant amounts of money for it.
With respect to the political environment in China, we all know China has long been a communist nation. There's been significant progress toward a market-oriented economy, but parts of its bureaucracy still protect local firms. Nonetheless, it's an ideal time for Asprey to enter China because foreign direct investment is definitely on the rise there. The Chinese government maintains a floating exchange rate. The Chinese currency was depreciating relative to Great Britain's currency, Asprey's home currency, until the present 2009 recession, which began in 2008. So we suggest that Asprey wait until this global recession is over and the Great British Pound once again appreciates against the Chinese yuan. Asprey, we have identified them as a new growth market because of high tariffs and other factors such as its opaque and inconsistently enforced laws. Corruption remains endemic in China, so Asprey will need to do thorough research before setting itself up in China to be prepared to engage in expediting payments and other possible forms of bribery that it may not be accustomed to in the developed countries in which it presently operates. With respect to the economic environment, if Asprey so decided, they can set up a manufacturing plant in China because foreign investors are now authorized to manufacture and sell in the domestic market. Joint ventures were once the only form of foreign direct investment allowed, but now wholly foreign-owned firms are authorized to operate in China. So Asprey doesn't have to engage in a joint venture, and I think that will be best. Furthermore, the WTO, World Trade Organization, has found China in violation of various US trademark claims. Therefore, Asprey has to be prepared to deal with imitations and knockoffs that may be in circulation in the Chinese market. Also, it would be wise to market to urban households in the east of China, such as cities, Beijing, China, the big cities you know, because these customers tend to spend larger portions of their income on consumption compared to urban households in the west and other areas of China. Also, Chinese customers tend to spend more of they used to spend more of their money on luxury goods abroad, but we're seeing a tendency to actually spend it in China. So it would be great if we can go there, set up, and get that money from the Chinese. Next slide, please. Surprisingly, jade is very popular amongst the Chinese. So it would be good if Asprey could make lots of jaded items, jaded jewelry, so take advantage of that, tailor our products to the Chinese market, take advantage of the Western status. The Chinese really love Western products and they tend to have a big advantage. And pay special attention to periods of peak demand such as the Chinese New Year, the lunar celebration, and the month of May, which is a good month for weddings in China.
The competitive environment for Asprey entering into the Chinese and Asian markets is very aggressive, with such competitors as Harry Winston, De Beers, and Cartier. In a SWOT analysis of Asprey, you can see such internal factors as a historic brand name and a high-quality product on the positive side, but on the other hand, there have been, as Jelani said, knockoffs and imitation products and strict government regulations. Outside of the company, Asprey will see a large growth in the Chinese market and a lot of potential for new customers. But also there will be the strict government regulations, as it said before. The secondary competitors of Asprey include such design houses, jewelry designers, and other watchmakers such as Louis Vuitton, Tiffany's, Piaget, and Bulgari, which have all entered into the Asian and Chinese market with a very specific brand strategy and high brand awareness, which is important to the Chinese consumer. With this lily pad necklace on the right, you can see that Asprey is trying to get a more specific image as it's entering into China. The staple products are going to be important to differentiate Asprey from its different competitors, as well as the specialty commissions and bespoke services offered by Asprey. The social demands placed on luxury brands are also important to help differentiate from the different competitors, because in a survey of high-end consumers, over 50% of them said that they did not think that luxury brands were acting in accordance with eco-friendly guidelines. Also, online selling has been a point of contention among luxury brands, considering the imitation products out there, especially in China. But Bulgari, TAG Heuer, and De Beers are all already selling online, whereas Asprey right now, you can only view the products, but you cannot buy or see the prices online. The use of celebrity with high-end designers has been controversial with Asprey, considering it does not have the brand awareness of some of the other designers, and the jewel that the celebrity is wearing needs to be more recognizable than the celebrity herself. Also, demographic analysis. A company called Larkspur Data Researching has been functioning in Asia for years now, and they offer a luxury goods magazine which is spread to households with net worths over $10 million, which is something Asprey could use to its advantage to help get its name out there.
Another slide that's purple for some reason. This slide actually, unfortunately can't see it, but it's about buyer behavior. And the buyer behavior in China is actually very different than the buyer behavior in the rest of the world. Given that we're in a global recession right now, the rest of the world is being very conservative about their spending. In China, most of the elite and the upper class and the wealthy are actually very young, which is very different in comparison to the rest of the world. And because these consumers are much younger, they're also impulse buyers. And so they're more likely to go out and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a diamond ring or a diamond necklace than they are in the rest of the world. Because of this very specific market, the targeting and segmentation of our product also has to be very specific. We've designated 4 segments that we would like to see our marketing strategy target. First of all, residents of large metropolitan cities like Shanghai or Beijing. In China, that is where the wealthy live, and it makes sense to have an elite luxury jeweler in those